How many times have you sat down and decided to start writing in a journal only to end up forgetting or giving up after just a few days? And then months later, you're chilling on your bed eating some Cheez-Its when this random girl on YouTube is saying that she's been journaling for over 2,000 days in a row. I've written in a journal every single day for 2,000 days, and this is what it looks like. And you're like, what the heck? How in the world did she do that? And why can't I stick with it for that long? Well, lucky for you, I am that random girl on YouTube, and I'm here to help give you some reasons as to why you might be failing at journaling. Hello everyone, my name is Carrie Walker. For those of you who don't know me, I've been journaling since I was 6 years old, which means I've been journaling for like 14 years now. But I did start daily journaling over 5.5 years ago, and so many people ask me when they hear that, how do you stick with it? How do you just not fall off? Because I've heard countless stories of people saying they want to start journaling, they want to stick with it, they want to daily journal, but they've tried and they just fall off after a week or two. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering a few different reasons as to why you might be failing at journaling, why you might not be able to stick with it, and if you're able to identify those things, then hopefully it'll help teach you how to make that shift so that you can continue with journaling and have as many journals as I do. Alright, so the very first reason that I'm going to touch on today is that you don't know your why. A lot of people hear about journaling and they're just like, oh, everybody does it, or I've heard it's really good for you, I'm just going to sit down and go for it and see what happens. If you really want to stick with journaling, establishing your intentions, that reason why, is really important to help you continue sticking with it. So that way when it does get harder or you start to like forget or fall off a little bit, you can always come back to that why of why you want to journal in the first place. There are plenty of different reasons why you might want to journal. It could be for self-discovery, to better your mental health. Maybe it's to document different memories and thoughts as you age throughout the years. Maybe a therapist or somebody told you that it would be really helpful, or maybe you just get inspired by somebody off of YouTube and say, hey, I want to do that too. And it could be a combination of all of those things too. But really defining that reason why will definitely be helpful in the long run of not falling off. And you can even write about it when you first start writing in your journal to just hold you accountable of why you're deciding to journal and what your intentions are. The second thing we're going to talk about today is that you don't have rules for yourself. I do have a video on all of my personal rules for journaling, although that's definitely not all of them. But in general, I feel like a lot of people just decide that they want to start journaling and think that it's just going to be super easy and happen overnight. It has to be a conscious decision, and in order to reach that goal of journaling all the time, you have to make rules for yourself so that you can stay more on track. Think of it like this. If you want to become super fit and in shape, it's not just going to happen overnight just because you decide to start going to the gym one day. You have to make a plan for yourself with rules of what you're going to do and how you're going to get to that goal. Whether it be making a workout plan, eating right, things like that. Even like making specific rules for yourself of what you're going to do on each day, how long you're going to work out, the kinds of workouts you're going to do. You're much more likely to reach that goal if you have those rules for yourself. And so when it comes to journaling, you want to define specific things for yourself so that you are able to obtain your goal more easily. Breaking it down in chunks will make it feel a lot more attainable. One of the big things you should decide for yourself is how often you want to write. Are you going to do it every single day, once a week, once a month? And even from there, make it more specific. If you're doing it once a week, say I'm going to do it at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Or if I'm doing it every day, I'm going to do it at noon every day on my lunch break. If you're doing it once a month, maybe you do it on the first of every single month. Or if you're just journaling for like whenever something big happens in your life, make sure that you have some sort of rule for yourself where it's like, I have to write about this like big event in my life, this big thing that happened within 2 days of it happening. Creating a structure and routine for yourself will absolutely help you in the process of sticking with journaling. And it'll hold you more accountable too if you write about those rules itself. So if you say, hey journal, I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. and then you write the next day and it's 5 p.m. again, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna sit down and journal, and you can hold yourself accountable and write about how you followed your goal. And if you don't end up doing it, then you're literally gonna have the written proof that you didn't follow through with what you said. You gotta build that trust with yourself. The third thing is that you aren't disciplined. So many people ask me, what motivates you to journal every day for over 5.5 years, over 2,000 days in a row? How do you do it? What motivates you? And although there's plenty of motivation out there, such as like journaling videos on YouTube, talking about it with this journaling army that we have here, subscribe if you're not a part of it, as well as other things, just talking about it in general and my own journaling, that definitely motivates me a lot. However, motivation is not gonna get you anywhere. Well, I guess it'll get you like somewhere, just not very far. Motivation will only get you so far. Again, with anything in life, step, you have to have discipline. I know I've already said it, but so many people just hear the benefits of journaling and expect it to come easily. They expect it to be super addicting and they'll just sit down and it'll go perfectly. And maybe for you it does. And if that's you, then that's really cool, but it's not like that for everybody, including myself. And just because you have a plan for what you're gonna do doesn't necessarily mean you're going to actually achieve it. You could sit there all day writing all of your detailed lists about how you're gonna journal all the time, or whatever goal it might be, whether it's like working out like we've already mentioned or literally anything else. A plan will only get you so far. The plan is literally the framework for how you're going to achieve that goal, but you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't actually have the discipline to follow through. So let's say your goal is to daily journal. There are going to be many days that you don't want to journal, and that's totally okay. But if you're wanting to regularly journal, even if it's just once a week, once a month, whenever, sometimes you're gonna have to force yourself to do it. And that's not to say that you should always be sitting down and forcing yourself to journal. Journaling overall should not feel like a chore, and if it does feel like a chore, then maybe it's time for some reevaluation of your intentions and the rules that you set for yourself, which were covered in points 1 and 2 of this video. If you're one of those people that sitting down and having a schedule can definitely make it feel like a chore, then maybe it is better for you to journal only when you have like strong emotions or big things that are happening in your life. But if you're like that, it's good if you have identified and accepted that intention before sitting down to tackle journaling, because then you kind of know what you're up against and what to expect of yourself. Having clarity on what you want to accomplish and how you want to accomplish it is so important. And once you have that clarity, then the discipline is truly what you need in order to achieve that. The fourth reason why you might be failing at journaling is just because you forget. A lot of people have that discipline, they have the rules for themselves and know their intention, but sometimes if it's not a habit, you can just forget, especially if you're new to journaling. My biggest tip for that is to make reminders for yourself. Literally put it on sticky notes, put it on your mirror when you get up in the morning so that when you brush your teeth, you can see that sticky note right on the mirror reminding you to journal. If you journal at lunchtime, put a little note in your lunchbox, put it on your nightstand before you go to bed. Even now, after years and years of journaling, I will still set reminders for myself so that I don't forget. A lot of the times I'll set an alarm on my phone for like 11:30 p.m. since one of the rules that I have for myself is that I have to start journaling before midnight. So having that alarm will hold me accountable to reaching that midnight deadline so that it doesn't like slip through my fingertips if I'm just like out and about and forget to journal. I also a lot of the times will set my journal like right on my bed so that when I go to sleep, I'll remember to journal. I'll see my journal physically laying there. I can't avoid it because it's literally where I'm wanting to lay down in bed. And so it serves as a reminder that, oh my gosh, I still need to journal for the day. And another way to remind yourself is to find like a journaling buddy. Maybe you have like a friend or something that's also wanting to journal and you can help hold each other accountable and be like, hey, every day we're gonna start journaling, and you can check in with each other and text them and be like, hey, did you journal today? Because like I haven't yet. And if you do forget here and there, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if you miss a day, if you forget to do it once or twice, but as long as you have the discipline to get back on track to reach those goals that you want, then you're totally fine. A fifth reason why you might be failing is because you care too much about filling the entire journal. I know it's so easy to see someone like me who has like over 20 journals that are completely filled up and you're just like, oh, I want to get there. But keep in mind that that has taken me literally like my entire life to do. I mean, these first journals were probably like the first, I don't know, 10 or so years of me journaling, and I didn't even fill up that much. It wasn't until this journal that I started writing every single day, which was 5.5 years ago. And this still, you know, has taken 5.5 years to fill up these journals. So especially if you're just starting, don't focus on filling up the journals. I know it can be really, really rewarding to have an entire journal filled up, but if you put that much pressure on yourself when you're first starting, it'll make you feel more resistant to continuing to journal. Focus on each individual page at a time, and eventually the journal will fill itself up. I know a lot of people will try to sit down and write like 10 pages at once so they can fill up the journal quicker, and if that works for you, that's fine. But for a lot of people, it can make it really overwhelming, which is not what we want. We want journaling to be enjoyable, it should be relaxing, it should help you work through your thoughts. It should not be a chore, it should not feel like a burden on yourself. I know I've already related it to fitness, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like a weight loss process. If you focus on that end goal, yes, it's important to keep that in mind, but it's ultimately up to like an entire lifestyle change and doing those small things every single day that'll eventually lead you up to that end goal. It happens without you even realizing it over time, so that one day you'll be able to look back and you'll be like, how did I fill up that many journals? And it's because I wasn't focused on, I have to fill up 5 journals, I have to fill up 50,000 journals, or even just one. I focused on just writing each day. That was my goal, and that will come with time. If you guys would like a part 2 to this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you can be a part of the journaling army. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and turn on post notifications so that you're alerted every single time that I upload. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if you have any other reasons why you think you might be failing at journaling, you can go ahead and comment them and we can have have a nice little conversation down there and hopefully motivate each other to stick with it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys. Woo!